Hainan, China, August 25, 2025. Typhoon Swordfish, internationally known as Kajiki, with gusts up to level 16, struck Hainan Island, shaking buildings and causing damage, forcing many people to flee for their lives. Kajiki made landfall in Hainan, with the city of Sanya being the first to endure strong winds and heavy rain. All the buildings shook as if hit by a powerful earthquake. Many structures suffered severe damage, windows shattered, doors were blown open, and tourists rushed into basements to take shelter. On the evening of August 24th, netizens in Sanya, Hainan, described the terrifying scenes as Typhoon Kajiki hit the island. Videos showed torrential rain and howling winds outside that sounded eerie. In some apartment complexes, entire balcony windows were blown away. Many residents had to rush down to underground garages for safety. In one hotel, tourists screamed in panic as strong winds smashed glass doors and shattered overhead panels, sending shards raining down. On the streets of Sanya, videos filmed by locals showed coconut trees swaying violently, trees toppling across roads, fences destroyed, and tin roofs clattering loudly in the storm. At 6 p.m. on August 24th, the Hainan Provincial Meteorological Bureau announced that Typhoon Kajiki, with gusts of level 16, had made landfall in Sanya and would later affect Lingshui, Liedong, and other southern cities and counties of Hainan. Kajiki, the 13th time typhoon of the year in China, had strengthened from a strong tropical depression into a violent typhoon at 2 a.m. on August 24th. To respond to Kajiki, the Hainan provincial government raised the typhoon warning from level 2 to level 1 at 9:40 a.m. on August 24th. The Provincial Committee for Disaster Prevention, Mitigation and Relief also raised its emergency response for floods and gales from level 2 to level 1 at 10 a.m. the same day. Officials from the Hainan Meteorological Bureau stated that Kajiki became the strongest typhoon to hit Sanya in nearly 40 years. According to a press release issued in Sanya on the evening of August 24th, Kajiki had intensified into a powerful typhoon. Over the next 12 hours, average wind speeds along the coast and inland Sanya would remain at level 13, with gusts of level 16 accompanied by heavy rain. On August 24th, the city of Sanya announced temporary suspension of schools, work, businesses, transportation, flights, and scenic spots. The neighboring county of Lingshui issued similar measures. At Sanya Port, hundreds of moored boats rocked violently as massive waves crashed against the piers, water surging and spilling across the concrete surface. These scenes highlighted the raw force of Kajiki's winds and the dangers faced by both residents and maritime operations. On land, the storm turned Sanya's once bustling streets into ruins. Rows of trees, including iconic coconut palms along the shoreline, were uprooted. Some blocked main roads, crushing parked vehicles and cutting off emergency routes. Streetlights flickered before going dark in some neighborhoods, and large billboards were torn apart, scattered across intersections. Cleanup and rescue crews worked through the night in dangerous conditions to clear major roads for ambulances and repair vehicles. Widespread infrastructure disruptions occurred. Power lines were downed in several districts, leaving thousands of households in darkness. Before landfall, island authorities evacuated more than 20,000 residents from coastal villages, fishing communities, and low-lying neighborhoods to schools, gyms, and other shelters. Inside these shelters, families huddled on mats and temporary blankets, while volunteers handed out bottled water, instant noodles, and basic medical supplies. Transportation across Sanya and the entire island was nearly paralyzed. Sanya Phoenix International Airport suspended all flights from Sunday morning, stranding thousands of passengers. Rail services to and from Hainan were canceled, while intercity buses and long-distance coaches were stopped for safety reasons. Highways were closed in flooded or debris-covered sections. Along the coast, ferries and fishing vessels were ordered back to port, and more than 800 offshore workers were evacuated from oil rigs and projects before the storm. Tourism, one of Hainan's economic pillars, was brought to a standstill as beaches, scenic spots, and entertainment facilities were closed until further notice. The typhoon also brought torrential rain, worsening the crisis. Weather stations reported over 250 millimeters of rainfall within 24 hours in parts of Sanya, with the heaviest downpours occurring at night. Water quickly accumulated in tunnels and low-lying neighborhoods, causing localized flooding. City workers deployed pumps to lower water levels, while sandbags were stacked in front of vulnerable buildings and shops. The Water Resources Department intensified inspections of dikes and drainage channels, fearing that prolonged rain could trigger flash floods or urban inundation. By midday on August 25th, the skies over Sanya remained gloomy with occasional heavy showers, but the strongest winds had eased to level 12. Cleanup operations were underway, with fallen trees being sawed and removed from streets. Power crews worked tirelessly to restore electricity to remaining affected districts, while health officials reminded residents to be wary of waterborne diseases after flooding. According to the China Meteorological Administration, southern areas of Hainan province were expected to face strong winds and heavy rainfall for the next 48 hours. Authorities urged residents not to drop their guard, warning that secondary disasters such as flash floods, landslides, and structural damage could still pose risks. Several businesses suffered severe losses in the storm. Mr. Chen, owner of a Sanya shop specializing in premium wood products such as Hainan Huanghuali, told local media that the wooden roof of his store was blown away, letting in heavy rain and violent gusts. This storm was so powerful that all our protective measures were useless. My phone barely has one signal bar, and even posting a video on WeChat is impossible. I simply cannot send anything, Mr. Chen lamented. The Hainan Power Company deployed over 2,000 personnel and more than 4,000 emergency power vehicles, along with mobile generators, to secure wind and flood control efforts before, during, and after the typhoon.